attempt to put in 30 minutes into a video. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just got a message. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. Let's try to do what we can do within the next 30 minutes or so. Okay, y'all. Give me 1 second. Oh, boy. All right, y'all. Well, the same thing. These people see me about to do a live stream and start showing out, but that's all right. The noise level has increased 10 times, as y'all can probably hear. But anyway, I need a studio. That's what I need. All right, y'all. So let's get started. Welcome to the free astrotheology class. All right. If you're new, this is the book that we're using, The Gospel and the Zodiac. The Secret Truth About J.C. the Christ Figure. The author is Bill Darrell-El. All right. I put the link to the free PDF to this book in the description area of the video so y'all can download it and print it. And while you're there in the description area, check out my books that I've written on Ancient Ibaryath, all right? I also have a book called Animals in the Bible. It's a full-color, glossy book. It's for children and adults who learn best by looking at pictures, okay? It has all the animals. It has pictures, rather, of the animals in the Bible. It has pictures of the animals in the Bible. And this dude looking over here, watching me talk while he turned his phone off. Oh, I tell you, some trifling people. So this is what I'm gonna have. I got about 30 minutes. I usually don't drink these, but I want something different this week. This is my third one this week. This is a strawberry smoothie. Yeah, it tastes pretty good. But anyway, y'all, see, there's ignorant people wherever you go on the planet. All right. So let's begin. I think we're on page 40 something, right, y'all? Yeah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. The problem is that there's no other place for me to go that's near the place where I need to be. So this is really my only option. The other options are not better, they're actually worse. But I'll make it do what it do. All right, y'all, we make it do what it do. Unstoppable, right? Okay, so here we are, page 43. That's where we left off. So remember, we're dealing with the concept of polarity. So one zodiac sign and the other. So let's say in the book, this is Leo. I'm sorry, let's go back. Aquarius. Let's say for the age of Aquarius, the water bearer. So this is Aquarius. If you draw a straight line down, it's going to be Leo. Okay, so the dominant characteristics during that age is this man looked like he's in his 40s. The dominant characteristics will be that of Aquarius. However, the Leo influences will still be at play. Why? It has to be, It has to be, right? Because you would not know hot. You wouldn't know hot if there was not cold. You wouldn't know bad if there's not good, right? So you need polarity. Okay, so the zodiac signs are constructed that way. So that's part of the analysis that you would do. Okay? I want to make that clear. I want to make that clear. So you need to learn the characteristics of each zodiac sign. Okay? So for example, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, right? 12 is at the extreme opposite end of 6 o'clock, or 6. Okay, so let's continue, okay? And I know I'm speaking very generally, but when I get to my laptop, I'll do a video showing y'all, okay, how it works. You see, some people are just losers that sabotage your stuff, but it's okay. So the Greek astronomer the Greek astronomer, I'm not going to tell y'all what I was thinking. The Greek astronomer Hipparchus, 2nd century BCE, is generally credited with discovery of the precession of the equinoxes. All right? So y'all already know that that's not true. You should already know that that's not true, right? I don't need to tell y'all that. But the phenomena was observed long before Hipparchus, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, provided an explanation for it. Alice Howell writes, there is so far no way of knowing if the Chaldeans, that's the Babylonians, and Egyptians knew of the ages. That's ridiculous on its face, right? How could the Egyptians have known so much but not have known about the zodiacal ages? That's idiotic, right? Y'all agree? They were the masters of astrologers. They knew everything on the topic. So who is this hybrid? Who is this hybrid to question what the Babylonians or the Chaldeans knew, let alone the Egyptians? Who are they to question? Except for out of their own lack of understanding, their own ignorance. Or remix, right? Or remix, intentional lies, deception. Okay? Let's continue. Alice Howell writes, there is so far no way of knowing if the Chaldeans or Egyptians knew of the ages. There is speculation that the ancient Egyptians might have known about them since the number 25,920 appears in the measurement of the Great Pyramid. Well, doesn't that sound familiar? 25,920. Well, that's one great year. That's 12 zodiacal ages. That's 12 zodiacal ages multiplied by 2,160. Okay, or you can divide 25,920 divided by 12 zodiac signs, and you'll get the length of each age, which is 2,160 years. All right? So that number, the great year number, 25,920, appears in the measurement of the Great Pyramid. Now, I've shown y'all what the Great Pyramid, I've shown y'all the natural phenomena that comes from. Okay, I've shown y'all that. I have a picture on my YouTube channel of the sun and their rays coming out of the clouds. There's the sun, and then the sun rays, sunlight is coming out of the clouds. Look at that picture and then turn it upside down. You'll see a pyramid, and the sun is the capstone. The sun is the Christ, right? The sun is the capstone. Y'all just look at that and flip it over. I think I also have a picture of the back of a $1 bill and some things like that. I believe I have it there. So that's the natural phenomena that the pyramid is based on. Y'all check it out. Okay? But as yet, no definite proof exists beyond the indisputable fact that Egyptian symbols show each of the shifts from the age of Gemini through the ages of Taurus and Aries in their cosmology, mythology, and architecture. So that's not by mistake. That cannot be by mistake. That's why the author is saying that it is indisputable. All right? It's an indisputable fact that the shifts, and I guess we're going to find out what they're talking about, from the age of Gemini through the age of Aries, of Taurus and Aries, it's in the cosmogony, mythology, and architecture. This is coming from Howell, page 133. Now I would take question with the mythology. I would need to know more about what they're talking about as far as mythology. As we go further into this chapter, you all will see why I'm questioning that. There's a relationship between the mythology and the cosmos. There's a assumption that's made, and I'll introduce y'all to that assumption when we get to that part. It's just a couple pages, actually only 1 or 2 pages from now. All right, but when we get there, I'll show y'all. It has to do with how the whole astrological, how this is constructed, how the whole phenomena is constructed, okay? Let me see, what time is it? Joseph Campbell is completely convinced that the ancient world knew about the perception before Is it Hipparchus or Hipparchus? Whatever it is. His principal clue lies in what he calls the magic number 432. Y'all can check Campbell, published in 1986 on page 38. But we have so much history of the hybrids taking credit, right? They take credit for stuff that they did not come up with, like Pythagoras theorem and pi. Amongst other things, y'all. So we know who we're dealing with. Okay. So a principal clue lies in the magic number 432. Let's see, 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 2 is 9. If I ever get time, I'm going to spend some time learning about numbers. Anyway, let's continue. This number, that's 432, when multiplied by 60, the resting heart rate of a healthy man gives 25,920. Okay? In today's world, that's more along the lines of an athlete's resting heart rate. The number of years in the great year, okay? He finds a link here between the rhythm of the individual human being and the rhythm of the universe. Oh, okay. 432 is the number of that link, and it can be traced in a variety of mythologies. So the mythologies are encoded, y'all. That's what they're saying. The Kali Yuga of the Hindus is 432,000 years old. And in Babylonian mythology, as reported by Berossos, the time between the rise of the first city, Kish, and the flood is 432,000 years. About Icelandic mythology, Campbell writes, I discovered that in Othin's or Wotan's warrior wall, that reminds me of something. Wotan. I think well, never mind. I'm not gonna. Let me let that go. I'll check it first. Volvo, there were 540 doors, through each of which, on the day of the wolf, that is to say, at the end of the present cycle of time, there would pass 800 divine warriors to engage the anti-gods in the battle of mutual annihilation. Okay, so 800 times 540 equals 400,032. This comes from Campbell, page 1986, published in 1986, page 35. I don't know what to make of this, y'all, so I'm not going to really comment on it, other than to say I don't agree with it. But I would need to learn more about it. Because to me, it just seems like they're pulling numbers out of a hat. And say, I mean, you can come up with anything and have it equal a number that you want it to equal, right? So I would need to learn more. I have no comment on this. The Bible too contains a reference to this number. Okay, that's 432. In a most unlikely place. In Genesis 5, we find a list of 10 antediluvian patriarchs whose ages total 1,656 years. According to Julius Oppert, in 1,656 years, there are 86,470 weeks. 86,400 divided by 2 gives 43,200. So there's the magic number again, 432, y'all. Okay, Campbell calls this a deeply hidden reference to, quote, to the Gentile Sumerio-Babylonian mathematical cosmology of the ever-revolving cycles of impersonal time, mathematical cosmology of the ever-revolving cycles let me repeat that. Mathematical cosmology of the reference to, let me start from the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so here we are. Campbell calls this a deeply hidden reference to, quote, To the Gentile Sumero-Babylonian mathematical cosmology of the ever-revolving cycles of impersonal time with whole universe and their populations coming into being. Flowering for a season of 43,200 years, and then in parentheses it says 432,000 or 4,320,000. Okay, so in other words, you can throw as many or as few zeros on the back of 432, and it's going to reveal something about the peoples, their population, and their relationship to the cosmos. All right? And they would flower for 42,300 years, and multiply that by 10. They would flower for that long. Multiply that by 10, you get what, 4,320,000, etc. Okay? So that's all that's saying. But I would need to look into this further. Now I do know that, according to, how can I say this? The patriarchs and their children, these are, my understanding, have to do with angles and degrees and things of that nature. But we'll get into that later when the time comes, okay? I think the next book that I do, we'll get into that. But it depends. I'll let y'all know which book I'm going to do next, okay? So let's continue. But it'll be a very, very, very old book. Okay, a very old book. So where are we? Let me check the time, y'all. I gotta bounce in a minute. Okay. Okay, so we mentioned that these civilizations would rise and flower by multiples of 400, and not multiples, by 432 years, multiples of 10. Okay, they would flower. And when they are destroyed, as the book says here, they would dissolve back into the cosmic mother sea to rest for an equal spell of years before returning. All right? So groups of peoples, or how can I, populations of people on the planet, they would flower 432 times 10, okay? And then they would dissolve and go back into what they're calling the cosmic mother sea. But I also understand that the cosmos to be the mother, so that when, let's say, someone expires, let's put it back, so that when JC expired, when JC the Christ figure expired, right, he came from the woman, he was born of a virgin. When he expired, he went back up where? To his father's abode, which is space. And that's actually a cosmic womb. So he goes back to the womb from which he came. Okay? So this cosmic, this mother sea, I'm going to scrap that. Why? Because it has to do with the sea. Okay? That has to do with the sea. So a mother has a womb. Does the womb have water? Yes. But not a seed. But anyway, y'all, and then this cycle would repeat again and again. Let me see how much time I got. I'm going to finish this paragraph and then I'm going to run. So that quote you can get out of Campbell, page published in 1986, page 35. Furthermore, 432 is the number which expresses the relationship between the great pulsing cycles of the universe. Now, that's what he should have started out with for me. I can buy into that. 432 expresses the relationship between the great pulsing cycles of the universe and the pulse of the human being, the Han Uman. Okay, so he's talking at the pulse is what, your heart rate, right? The mystic link between macrocosm, the big, and microcosm, the small. Okay, so it is the mystic link. In other words, your heart rate or your pulse is linked to the pulse of the universe. I wonder if this is true, or how did they measure that? But anyway, I'll find that out later. Let's continue. So that's a link, y'all. But we need to confirm it. Its veiled presence, that's 432's veiled presence in the Bible, demonstrates that, quote, cosmic consciousness, end quote, the perennial aim of the mystic was not unknown to the seers of ancient Israel. Okay, well I can get down with that. All right, so this concept of cosmic consciousness, we're going to deal with that a whole lot more. That's what the whole thing is about, cosmic consciousness. That's the all. That's the all. Consciousness, awareness, cosmic consciousness, cosmic awareness, all intelligence. All right? But anyway, let's stop here, y'all. I got to run. I have an appointment. Shalawama and Islam to all of the more.